Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. LPL English getting ready for Game 4 of Day 4 of the Demacia Cup. And we had the caster swap around. My name is Marco Raafaa Alexander Aramide. You may have seen me on the LCS or NACL broadcast in the past. I am reunited with Matthew Cubby, David Samuelson. That's right, I'm dropping the full Cubby name. Everyone, get this guy's ass. I will drop the address as well. I want to make sure that everyone knows that this is the Raafaa Cubby reunion that we have been waiting since 2022. Cubby, we did not cast together at all. The time we lived together in LA. What's up with that?
It was kind of a shame, but I'm excited to be reunited this time, even if you're going to start by doxing me for everyone here on the stream, and excited to hop into some of these games that we have today.
Absolutely. I'm not going to lie. I was trying to prep myself for the nocturnal schedule. I failed the challenge. I fell asleep for the first 3 games. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fine.
Here.
I guess I'm catching for you then.
Yes,
I'm glad
please.
we're waking
Give me the scoop.
Okay. Old man team. Cacao still the goat, and
Super
Puff is still
gaming,
bad.
right?
Yeah. Let's see. OMG 2-0. Good start. Anyone's Legends. They smoke the old man team, and that's about where we're at.
All right. You know what? That kind of adds up to what we were kind of expecting going into this week. But the rest of the week, watching all of the other Demacia Cup Group stages has been a real treat. IG, I mean, we had high expectations, for the Shy and the rookie team, but I think Jeja has been a real standout over on that team. But obviously, we're gonna be getting into a lot of discussion about the other groups now that all the group winners have been kind of decided to this point for the past 3 days. We've got draft phase for Anyone's Legend and Ultra Prime.
Yeah.
And already the bans have been flowing out the window right now, Matt.
I will say Ultra Prime, I know that you didn't catch their game earlier. A lot of disconnect from their comp, but honestly, we're just looking to see a better game from them as they did not pick the right targets together. They were very disjointed against OMG, honestly handing them a rather easy game on a silver platter. So hopefully we see something better from Ultra Prime in this one, going up against the favorites of this group in Anyone's Legends, as this honestly a warm-up for what we expect to be the rubber match as they go up against OMG later on. Of course, AL 1-0, UP 0-1, and we will have a first pick Ash for Hope.
Nothing too out of the ordinary here. A pretty powerful marksman picked up for Hope on the side of Anyone's Legend. Varus, nice answer. You have now pretty solid engages from both sides of these squads from the bot lane. Now, my curiosity here, Matt, is what are some of the spicy picks that have kind of emerged from this Demacia Cup so far? I mean, obviously, I think the most interesting thing of the day was that Rumble Jungle that Hung broke out in Game 1 by OMG. But I don't know if Anyone's Legend or Ultra Prime has brought anything just as remarkable.
Honestly, Wukong being blinded here is a little interesting to me. Was not expecting that from Junhao. Really tough performance in the Vi for Game 1. I will say nothing too creative today, outside of Ambassa being played mid. That's something that I know is possible, just we haven't seen a lot of. And we'll see if Ambassa makes her way into the draft later on, as it's a top winner that packs a lot of damage and a lot of mobility, and has been one that a lot of our players have seen to put a lot of time in the offseason, as her kit very strong. That said, Corki being locked in, one of the other good bot laners taken away. Will be piloted in the mid lane here for Shanks, and a rather traditional comp being set up. Potential for Tarzan Maokai later on. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that banned in the second phase. Let's see what Saber wants against Corki mid, as a lot of control mages on the board. Expect that to be narrowed if mid isn't picked in this phase of draft. So a real choice here for Ultra Prime to either match mid or match support.
With things like Victor and Aurora already off the table, does put your options at things like the Orianna. I'm not sure if we've seen that much Syndra in the Demacia Cup tournament so far. I'm just trying to run through my notes here.
Yeah, not a lot of Syndra yet, as we will see a big focus in the second phase of draft. Was a choice to match support Leona locked in here for Rossi Love, and Now, I expect magic damage junglers to be taken away. Tarzan, no Nidalee for him, makes a lot of sense. Expect the Maokai ban next as well. What else are you cooking, Raafaa, as a jungler yourself? We got magic damage junglers on the board for Tarzan. What are you thinking?
I mean, well, here's where my head is at, Matt. If you already have Rel from the support role, like how much more frontline do you need on the side of anyone's legend? You could shift that tank responsibility up to Flandre on the top side of the map.
Yep.
That does put him in the position of having to blind tank that could get abused by Jiang on the other side of the map. And since they are red side, they have that ability to give them counterpick priority. Zyra, that's another great answer. I think we've already seen a Zyra jungle played at least once or twice in the Demacia Cup so far. I like the Akali answer. Two double marksmen on the side of anyone's legend. Having an assassin in the mid lane does at least give you some assassination potential so that you are eliminating or at least zoning one of those marksman threats out of the fight. Silas. Now, you already have access to two great ultimates in the Magna Storm and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, so I kind of like this pick from Saber.
Yeah, and it somewhat deters the Maokai, which I was teasing would be banned away from Tarzan. It was left up, because you pick Maokai, now you get to take his ultimate away, which feels great if you are playing Silas on this side. So, that being said, Renekton going to be the blind here for Flandre, a champ that can match Silas in the side lane later on, as well as, I mean, you are just Renekton, so you're in okay shape, and I will say, if it is an Elise, that would be rather exciting. I think it is playable, especially if you have a Renekton to the top side. It would lack a little bit of frontline later on, as you were highlighting, Raafaa, but options here for Tarzan. Oh, I actually would really like Lilia or Karthus. Very low range comp so far for Ultra Prime, so Lilia Karthus can abuse that, and it will be the Lilia for Tarzan coming out.
Now, if memory serves correctly, Matt, we did have one Lilia performance by a jungler in the Demacia Cup so far. Not to shame them, it was not the most inspiring, but, you know, maybe not a sign of the champion, but the way the team was operating itself. But for Ultra Prime, their last answer is going to be the Gnar, and this is a matchup that we are all very familiar with, you know, slightly ranged, that you can abuse the Renekton. However, if you do get any assistance on the top side of the map and you're able to shut down this Gnar and actually give the Renekton a little bit of a lead, it does make the Gnar's life a lot more difficult in that side lane.
Yeah, and I gotta say, coming out of this draft, I really like what Anyone's Legends has for setup. That Renekton is gonna feel very comfortable being frontline in this, and I think it's really tough for Varus, because I look at the comp for Ultra Prime. If you do go for poke Varus, I think you lose out a lot of the damage potentially later on, but I almost feel like it's necessary going up against Ashe, Corki, Lilia. You're not going to win the DPS war, and against Lilia, it's going to be a real game of pick and poke, where you have Lilia and Ashe to try and create picks, create space for Anyone's Legends, versus Leona trying to find and pick those people in their own right. Whenever I see Lilia in a game, I always think about, you got to kill that champion first, because if she's allowed to scale and ramp throughout the fight, can be a real problem. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a game of a pick war to see who can take another piece off the board first between these two teams in this game.
Yeah, and it's just a nice response from Anyone's Legend after seeing such an early Wukong rotation that you mentioned right off the bat. I think it just put Anyone's Legend in a spot where saying either we try to match the skirmishing potential of this Wukong early on, or we put a timer and say, hey, if you don't create any reasonable advantages in the first 15-20 minutes, this Lilia is going to outscale the heck out of you. As ladies and gentlemen, we are finally getting on to the rift between Anyone's Legend and Ultra Prime. Now, Matt, I want to clarify something. Since OMG has already won 2 of their games, and Anyone's Legend is at 1-0. If Ultra Prime were to defeat Anyone's Legend, does that automatically put OMG as the winner of the group?
No, because Anyone's Legends and OMG have to play later on. But I believe the tiebreaker is actually time to win. So it would make things rather interesting, but with a win here, Anyone's Legends makes it so that that final match of the day is the exciting one to decide who actually ends up going home. I say final match, it's the next match, as the scheduling has just been all over the place for me. But, you know, I thought when I read the schedule that it was like left side first and right side first. I was wrong. It goes left to right.
Left to right, left to right, left to right. Yeah. We're going to have to do a couple of mental health sanity checks on your side since you've stayed up all night, both on Monday as well as today. It's a nice little chunk from Saber. He's able to get the face check Shanks. Uh-oh. Cubby, I think Shanks is in trouble. Forced to flash away, but the rest of anyone's legend was already invading into the blue buff, so he has their teammates to back up on. But Tarzan is now in trouble, and Cubby turned off the screen. Tarzan forced to flash over the wall, but Saber's able to chase him easily. That's first blood for Ultra Prime, and anyone's legend wanted to get a piece of that blue buff pie, but they are getting hella punished for it early on.
Both junglers taken off the board means it's going to be a really weird map state with each jungler delayed. Kills going over to these carries of Ultra Prime is huge. That's a big start for them. I do want to highlight Waco is going for, or Waka going for that poke Varus build right off the bat. So a Comet in the inventory, big focus on the poke. I think the early kill is really important for Ultra Prime because this is a game where, for me, they have to snowball. You're not going to overcome the double marksman setup in later fights if you don't have a lead early on. So getting this 2-1 start, delaying Tarzan on this clear, good start for Ultra Prime.
Yeah, and the fact that Waco still has both of his sums, he's already painted a huge target on his back for someone like Tarzan or the rest of anyone's legend to see if they can try and shut down and stop the acceleration of this snowball from happening. It's only still just under 3 minutes in the game, so the game is not completely over. You know, sometimes when we play our flex games and we have a level 1 like that, we're like, all right, guys, let's just F that at 15. You know, we'll go next. You know, definitely not you though. You're a good trooper. The rest of our friend group,
I'm mental soldier. Yeah, real mental soldier up here. But hey, you know what? I can't believe that we're already referencing middle names, doxing, and also the flex games that are just disastrous.
This is the Cubby Raafaa special, guys.
It's a good. It's a hell of a start. You know.
We see jungle clears being oppositely matched by both Junhao and Tarzan. Tarzan making his way towards the top side, Junhao pathing towards the bot side on the map. Waco just going to be barely dodging out on that crash down. No need for an early flash if you were caught under the tower. So you can already see a little bit of how this Renekton and Gnar matchup works. If you can always keep Renekton at a distance, you can slowly poke and harass him out, but anytime that Crocodile jumps on you, especially in mini Gnar form, you will lose a chunk of that HP.
Yeah, I do think that the grass tech... Oh, whoa, Shanks?
Shanks? Can he flash out? No, he doesn't have flash? Okay, you know what, Worth? It's all about sending a message and pushing in that wave.
I mean, the wave's bouncing back to Shanks, too, so I think that is Worth as he picks up that kill. Well done. It does mean that Silas is going to have a pretty hefty item advantage on Corki mid, though. And with no flash for Shanks, I really want to see Junhao have a visit to mid lane. Really try and snowball Silas. If you give him ganks, give him support, the gank assist, the setup that he brings to the map, really oppressive against other mid laners. So we'd love to see a visit there from Ultra Prime.
Yeah. Depends on if Junhao can get to level 6 super fast, or if Saber will have some type of level 6 advantage to set up, because outside of landing the upscun abduct, you have no CC between your jungle mid as Ultra Prime, so assuming Shanks doesn't have flash, if he has the Valkyrie available, should be able to escape any reasonable gank as long as it's not overextended. But outside of that, now Cubby, if you bring someone like Rosie Love into the fray, that gank setup is a lot easier to do.
Yeah, there is a control ward on the bot side, so we'll we spot Leona out initially as going to trade knowledge of where she's at to get that ward down, or at least attempt to. Drops a control ward herself, and now just going to be power for power there. As I have to be careful. I will say that with Grass coming in for Gnar in this top matchup, I feel like it helped him against Renekton in the long run. Because the power of Renekton in this matchup was like the level 6 all-in, or just any all-in you can find against Gnar. With Grasp and Overgrowth, you get enough health where the Renekton can't really overcome you. The timer, the windows are a lot smaller. So we'll see if Won Jiang can at least try and open up that lead, as he is a player in his second year from the PCS that's been rather hyped up, or in the words of Kelsey Moser, pretty decent player coming from the PCS, so definitely hope for Ultra Prime there.
If they got the Kelsey Moser vouch, then I'm already...
In top lane too?
Oh, that's a hard to please roll right there. Now, Ultra Prime trying to start up this first rotation of Void Grubs. You got to be careful when Renekton is level 6. Flandre already popping the Dominus, getting as much damage as he can, but One Jiang is able to throw him into the wall, and Junhao should go down to Tarzan thanks to that Lilia passive, force the flash over the wall, but One Jiang wants to throw Bambi back into the wall, but they've got Kale for support, and Shanks fires a rocket over the top, sends One Jiang back to the grave. Hope has arrived to the party. Good arrow stops Kale in his tracks, is eventually going to go down thanks to Waco with one more snipe set up by Saber. And oh boy, Cubby, I've missed this. Good old scrapping, and LPL is probably one of the best regions to ever do it.
Yeah, a lot of blood early. Props to Tarzan. He played out the back half of the fight really well, finding the E onto Wukong in the pit, having the blue suede shoes on to sidestep the Gnar. But the big thing for me at the start of the fight, Flandre, the empowered stun, actually caught Wukong's clone, and that's why they were able to have such a good start. And the fight's not over, as the Grubs were split. The last Grub's up, and Junhao here to battle, but Kyle also here, spotted on a ward, going to push Wukong off.
Yeah. Honestly, Junhao is just like me for real. I want that last Void Grub, and I want to be able to take it before the rest of anyone's legend.
Who cares about Crab?
Just one more auto attack. Good smite. And he gets the decoy out over the wall. I don't know what the split was between the two teams.
Oh, hold on.
Now, Kale might be in trouble. He doesn't have flash from the previous fight before. Rosie Love doesn't find another Zenith Blade.
Yeah, while all this is going on, kind of a weird lane assignment here from Up, because Gnar was already top in the back half of this. We're going to see the empowered stun in the replay. It did catch the clone of Wukong. Bought time for One Jiang to pop Mega. Great ult from him to kick off this fight. They find the Renekton, but props to Tarzan in the back half of this. Again, blue suede shoes, finds the sweet spot of the Q on the Wukong, as well as the E, and then the Q flash away from the stun, sidestep the wild up from Gnar with the help of Kyle to burn this down. Kyle does overextend at the end, falls victim to the enchanted crystal arrow that was snagged by Saber in the back half, but a 2 for 2. A lot of blood early, as Anyone's Legends again. I think it's still a bit of a scaling game for them. And I will say, oh, hold on, more action.
Arrow. And that's the cleanse. Respect from Waco. Just making sure that he avoids any further CC follow-up, as that Shattering Strike would have led into the crash down from Kyle. But no all-in available now from Hope and Kale. Now, Waco still on trajectory to have a strong first item spike, has that tier stacking, the Serrated Dirk already purchased in his inventory, so more than likely a Yuma's Ghostblade will be picked up, unless Lethality Viruses are still going for the Opportunity Rush. I'm not going to lie, Cubby, I'm not sure what the optimal build is. There's been so many item nerfs and bounce changes over the past few patches since the most recent competitive patch we had since Worlds. I guess players could be doing anything.
Yeah, we did see Yoma's earlier in the day, but at the moment, we see Anyone's Legends going for collapse. Kyle.
He's the target. Cyclone knocks him up. Easy kill pickup for Saber, but here comes Flandre flashing over the wall. That forces Waco's own flash, and he keeps his space. Flandre could go down here with one more piercing arrow from Waco, but he cannot stay in range because Shanks and Hope are leading the cavalry charge looking for Waco. They know that he doesn't have flash anymore. Just a couple more auto attacks. The slow from approach velocity, thanks to Ash's passive, gets him in range. Hope with the double kill, and Shanks will not go down as they avoid the last turret shot on the turret aggro for the dive. And Anyone's Legend will take that fight and say, you had the level 1 over us, but we're taking the game momentum right now.
Yeah, I know that the opener from Kyle kind of looked like a grief, but the way that Flandre was able to follow it up, the space that he bought from that entrance on the Renekton was what made the fight good for Anyone's Legends. Yes, Kyle goes down, but look at what he catches in the process. Varus ult used to one-shot the support. Saber used everything too, and then the entrance from Flandre. Flash over, immediately distances Waco for the rest of the fight. He can't do anything else. Not to mention he's poked Varus against this Renekton. Flandre retreats at the right time. The space bought for his double marksman to open up. Perfectly played from Flandre to make sure Hope and Shanks have the space. And they chase one down, this one down, to get gold back in their pockets and get the lead back in Anyone's Legends' hands.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyle. That looked like a Cubby engage for sure. You thought that this was
Oh, a compliment. Oh, wait, no. Kyle, never mind. Okay, arrow caught. Maybe we see a play on Wako.
potentially. Rosie Love is already in rotation to make sure that his AD carry does not get completely destroyed on the pick. Second rotation of Grubs is spawning in the next 20 seconds. I want to take a note of some notable pickups here for the side of Anyone's Legend. Trinity Force already finished for Shanks. Leandry's Torment as well for Tarzan. These are some powerful one-item spikes. It's not the end of the game for Ultra Prime, but it does mean that compared to what Ultra Prime have picked up, Rocket Belt for Saber and Yumu's for Waco, that if your damage dealers go down first in this fight, you are losing the overall extended fight against Anyone's Legend.
Yeah, and second Grubs, they're on the map. Very important fight. I still think, I know the item advantage for Anyone's Legends, it's there, but the champions at this point of the game, the strength should still be in Up's pocket. So curious if we end up having a fight here. For me, eyes on Tarzan. We'll see if he gets picked yet again. His first Grub does go over to Wukong and fights break out.
Rosie Love already trying to stop Kyle and Hope from getting into the fight, but they just turn right on to Wako as he gets completely isolated out. Flandre able to collapse from the left side of the river fight, and Junhao and Saber are forced to flee, leaving their comrade Rosie Love to die. Flandre absolutely tearing it up on this Renekton. 9-6 overall for Anyone's Legend, leading against Ultra Prime.
Yeah, I thought that they got Tarzan in the top half of the fight, but yet again, he plays that one out beautifully using Lilia's kit to buy space. Thought for sure he'd go down, but sidesteps the abscond abduct from Saber. That stall bought the rest of the time for Anyone's Legends to just pump out damage on the other side of the fight. And that was it. I really thought that Tarzan, if he goes down, Up could have won this one as we take another look, but man, just not even close, because this side of the fight was all Anyone's Legends.
You've already seen that our focus is kind of on the right side of the fight, but as you mentioned, Tarzan buys so much time, able to use the movement speed from his passive to dance and dodge his way away from Saber and Junhao's effective combat range. And then by that time, the rest of Anyone's Legend just collapse on in, and it's pretty much history. Now for Ultra Prime, Matt, it's a 2,000 gold deficit. The snowball is now in the other direction for Anyone's Legend. At what point is it lights out for Ultra Prime?
It might have already passed, honestly. I think.
Are you calling it? Do we need to get the coach's office in this?
Yeah, I mean, I am calling it because the team diff is in favor of Anyone's Legends. We're gonna be honest there, but I think 2 items is where it truly ends up getting doomed. As the items, at this point, if Up are not ahead in this game, their champions, they do fall off outside of pretty much Wukong. And at the moment, being down 2k gold, Grubs even, I don't really see a point of pressure they can have on the map. And a lot of it, I got to give credit still to Flandre. He is way overperforming this matchup. That was pretty slick.
Yep. Escape. Oh. You know, it's a shame that because we're doing a remote co-stream, we don't have access to talking with the observer, because I definitely would have called for the observer to zoom in on the Corky butt cheeks. It's always a fun time.
Oh, you should have tuned in at the start of the last game, Raafaa. The before minions hit, you're going to like the start of that one.
Ooh. Well, I'll have to go back and catch the vlog. Rift Herald.
No, they went on stream knows what I'm referencing. You're going to have a good laugh after.
Oh, okay. Wow. You know, it's always, I don't want to say it's a difficult time, but you are a pretty well-composed man. And if you break, that means it's really funny. So
yeah, no, it's actually pretty funny. Yeah, you not knowing it, yeah, it is pretty funny. Anyway, Herald goes down, fight breaking out.
They really hate Tarzan. They try to flash on top of him, but the front line just got completely eviscerated. Anyone's Legend is wiping the floor with Ultra Prime, and Wako's running the hell out of there. Should be able to get out just fine. The Rift Herald was secured, but now Wako, I don't even think this turret is going to protect him, because Tarzan is trying to rout him off. Good stop by Wonjong as they're able to finally get the shutdown on the Tarzan, but Kyle and Flandre make the collapse happen. Junhao using the Cyclone to create as much space and distance as he can, flashing over and saving Wako potentially as he flashes away from Flandre. He does survive. Shanks was looking for that last rocket, but good sacrificial lamb play by Junhao to save his marksman. But Cubby, I'm starting to be more in line with your call a couple of minutes ago. This could be over for Ultra Prime.
Tarzan is having such a big game. I know he gets caught out at the end, but how he plays the opener of this fight, the W to get out of, again, the Abscond Abduct and the Solar Flare from Ultra Prime. Fight's over before it starts because of how Tarzan played that one, and then the chase is on. I know that he ends up going down to the Gnar here. Didn't think that he'd get Mega. It's kind of a grief, we're going to be honest, from Tarzan, but still bought his team time and space to continue the play. And Flandre, no escaping this Renekton at this point. He's able to melt through the rest of the front line, and Anyone's Legends take objectives afterwards. Still really big. Nice react flash from Wako here, the back half. Not bad, but still, for me, Tarzan's been the stud this game. Man, I know it's 2-2-4, not a super impressive scoreline, but the moves that he's made in these fights, just outplaying the 1v2s, the 1v3 points, even sniping away some buffs now in the back half, he's been a beast.
You know, it's a great way to bounce back after the level 1 debacle for the invade, and unfortunately, Rosie Love, that turret is no longer a safe space. Anyone's Legend has complete control on this bottom side of the map. You're going to start seeing the vision line being slowly pushed into Ultra Prime's encroaches. So for the rest of Anyone's Legend, this is now a game of how cleanly can we close this advantage out. Already 6,000 gold ahead. The second dragon is spawning in the next minute and a half. I think for Ultra Prime, you just have to be a little more...
Oh, Tarzan.
Hang on. Lilting Blue. Oh my god! Wako, play safe! 80 carries in 2024. You try so hard, and you get so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Saber's the next target, and Anyone Legend is just having a ball on the Rift right now.
I thought it was going to be a Flandre player of the game at the start. It's a Tarzan player of the game. He sidestepped the chain of corruptions, threw the ball back, found the double sleep, and he's putting up to sleep with this one. Absolute beast performance coming out from Tarzan. The real hope of Anyone's Legends, who, again, this core, the Shanks Hope Kyle core, sticking together, having an upgraded topside. If you're an Anyone's Legends fan, this game is a preview for all that you're hoping for in this split, with Flandre and Tarzan carrying you. Look at that. The ball comes out, the sidestep comes in, and the Varus goes down to the power of Anyone's Legends.
And for, as you already called out, Anyone's Legend fans, this is such an exciting time, an exciting preview of what could be coming in at least the spring split for LPL in 2025. Now that you have such a strong jungle top duo that brings so much stability and reliability, I should say. And maybe Anyone's Legend will be a top contender. I'm going to have to go back in our notes and see where did Anyone's Legend end up historically in the LPL. But, you know, obviously we might be getting a little too far ahead of ourselves to judge off the sample size of 2 games. As you know, we called it earlier. This is the 80 carry experience in 2024 at the moment. Probably still will be the 80 carry experience in 2025. And maybe Shanks could be in trouble here as Ultra Prime. They just have to throw something at the wall here. They have to look for these really desperate picks. Unfortunately, the teleport makes it so that play is not happening. Shanks completely destroys one Zhang. Good flash by Saber, dodging the arrow at the very last possible frame. Junhao just going to make sure that he can escort Saber out to safely, and Flandre will not be able to pull this dive off. However, Kyle and Tarzan are looping around on the left side. Maybe they want to make a dive happen. Rosie Love, an extra body to see if they can stymie off the rest of Anyone's Legend for pulling this dive off. They just push them away from the inner tower, and that turret does fall.
That was kind of a badass 1v1 from Shanks, man. Wonjung was trying to guess the Valk or the flash from Shanks. He held it, ended up Valking forward to dodge out from the Boomerang Blade, and just one-shot this Gnar. As when your mid laners treat Gnar like that, that's a pretty bad sign. And speaking of mid laners, Saber.
More fighting in the mid lane. Kyle might be caught out here. Rosie Love trying to lock down Hope, but there's no hope left for the side of Ultra Prime because the damage dealer's already gone. Junhao completely isolated out from the rest of Ultra Prime's team. Good lilting lullaby. Wako's gonna pop it with the cleanse to make sure that he can walk out safely. Can't say the same about Wonjung. And good swirling seed from Tarzan finds his mark. No point in burning the flash. And Shanks is gonna take a pit stop, wait for that minion wave to crash in before he can exit safely away from the base.
Hey, Raafaa.
What's up?
They banned the Nidalee and the Syra for this, man. They're getting
no.
ran by the Lilia. Oh, Tarzan's been such a beast in this game. There's no stopping anyone's legends. As yeah, they might be able to go on legendary in this one. Baron gonna fall quite early. Junhao trying to make his way to the objective, but I don't think it's gonna be even close to soon enough. As anyone's legends, I mean, the level 1, the first few plays, it looked like Ultra Prime had a bit of a chance. Any chance of them having hope in this game was just snuffed out quickly by anyone's legends.
Immediately dashed away, and let's take a look back. What happened? 2 fights, more like skirmishes, that happened on both sides of the map.
Good flash there from Hope, as the combo from the Wukong Leona just not quite in sync. Sometimes you can find the Solar Flare in that window. Not the case, and then Tarzan just playing with people here. Had to get the shield off, and I don't think he had Smite. Look at the sidestep on the Rang. Finds the 2-man, gets the Zanyas off to actually dodge out from the Mega Gnar too. That's a nice little perk there. And hits the ball to make sure that Wako joins the rest of his team's fate going down. Tarzan, studly start and performance to him on this new team, picking up right where he left off in summer, where he was a beast for Weibo.
I think Tarzan had nearly 100% hit rate on the last few Sorling seats he hit. The one sidestep on one Jiang, and then of course getting Wako on the other side. Now, anyone's legend making their siege happen. Baron buff on their side. It should be a lot easier. Rosie Love is going to try to hold the line as long as possible, but being this far behind means that this Leona is nowhere near as tanky as necessary to make that defense possible. Both the top and middle inhibitor will fall, and now here comes the siege Cubby. This could be the end of the game. Oh no! We flipped to the arrow! Wako should still be able to buy some time here and throw damage out while the rest of his team holds the line, but Junhao falls. Good night, one Jiang, and Saber tries to walk it out back again. Rosie Love is back from the grave. Maybe they can hold the line one last time, as anyone's legend did lose out on Flaudre in the dive. 3-man Q flash into the sleep. Let's go, Tarzan. Show them how Lilia can be played to the highest level, baby. A masterclass on Bambi, and let's go, anyone's legend. They're going to go 2-0 in the group stage.
Yeah, we got the battle of the winners and the losers coming up here, as anyone's legends going up against OMG to decide the group. And in the back half, we have Up trying to take a win against Team Old Man and Super Gaming. So we got the rest of the night set up for us, Raafaa. And man, I mean, anyone's legend, it was a bit of a rough start, but you would have never guessed that if you just looked at the end score line. As man, if Tarzan doesn't get player of the game, I will say player of the games have been right today. Day 1, I said they were 2 for 6 and who I thought should win. But this one should go over to Tarzan, man. He was a beast.
Something media bias. But if it's not Tarzan, you know, I would put my hat for either Flandre or Shanks. I think the entire top side played extremely well, and considering, you know, we talked about this a little bit during the game, but the fact that anyone's legend bounced back so well after the early blue buff invade, it seemed like such a catastrophic way to start the game, but you know, the experience of these players really comes to fruition in that first few minutes. And then once we saw how the first grub fight happened between the two teams, I think it was a sign of things to come for the rest of the game.
No, I like your honorary shoutouts. I think of Flandre for that first positive play for anyone's legends. I think that the way that he positioned himself after Kyle ran it down for the boys, and he was able to kind of get in the back line there and make sure that the chase was on for the double marksman was really good. But yeah, I mean, so many good plays coming out of the top side there, specifically of anyone's legends. Oh boy, Shanks, that might be enough damage to get you a pog, I will say.
I mean, I'm pogging right now. Holy moly, 30k damage. I mean, sometimes we forget how strong Corki mid can be. We definitely had our, you know, 80 carry mid meta for a majority of the summer split all around the world before World's meta eventually killed the Yordle right before we got into the thickness of the tournament. But Shanks showing us, you know, when Riot Games starts to show a little bit of love back to the Corkster in the mid lane, this is the type of damage output you can get.
Yeah, and I know from talking with Kelsey before, Shanks is a player I'm roughly familiar with. I know that he's been really trying to fight his way towards being that top tier mid in LPL for a while. This is his best chance to do so on anyone's legends. And I know that he wasn't the best at adapting some of the marksmen, but man, had a great performance on the marksman there. Bounced back with the trade of solo kill against Saber, and Saber, I mean, he had the wave frozen, but once Shanks broke that, got out on the map, and made his impact felt, oh boy, did everyone else feel it on the side of up as Shanks sent them straight down into their graves.
Yeah. And it does mean with this loss, Soldier Prime is no longer eligible to escape the group stage and move on. So the next match they play will just be, you know,
it's a show match
for pride, you know, and for good reps, as you know, this is still an early preview of what the 2025 LPL season is going to look like, you know, and any stage games is always worth the time invested. As we're gonna take a stroll through memory lane here, Matt. It's all the highlights.
I mean, this is going to be the Tarzan show for me, as some of the sidesteps he had there. I even missed that he got out of one of the Gnar Qs on the back half. Yes, he hits that one, but still flashes the abscond up tuck. Sidesteps the wall, makes it look easy in the process. Shout out to Kyle with the assist there, making the space happen for Tarzan. And Tarzan was just a stud on the Stilia. Again, Tarzan, like, he was such a threat for Weibo, being able to play supportive champs like Maokai really well, but also his Zyra, his Brand were beastly in the LPL, and even seeing some of those appear at Worlds too. Great to see him perform on the Lilia here is the fight that I thought Flandre had a beast fight on. Played that one really well with his entrance, able to use his health bar and buy space really well. That's why we always see Flandre make his way into these top teams, because of how well he can buy space on his champions, like the Renekton, like the Gragas, and other things that we know Flandre for.
No notes, Matt. 10 out of 10 for the side of anyone's Legend of Flandre.
We're even seeing Tarzan at the top to smurf on everyone.
Yeah.
We got to show the top side, man. He's sidestepped everything again.
Take down the caster cans. We need to put the highlight on Tarzan's Bambi right now. I mean, my goodness, it just completely just styling in the 1v2.
Again.
And you could see how upset Prime were. They were like, man, we need to shut down Tarzan right now. But the Leona engaged, not enough to lock him down. And honestly, this play just made me feel so sad for Wako. Just trying to get in some chip damage with the piercing arrow.
So nasty from Tarzan, man.
Yeah, like getting tagged by that swirling seed, and it's just lights out for any AD carry in that situation.
Now, see, Raafaa, if you hadn't already burned through the flex queue and gaming references, then the real one that you should have made here is that Tarzan made Rossi Loves Leona look like me out there. I feel like that was your missed opportunity.
I mean, I already referenced you with the Kyle engage, where it looked like he was griefing, and then it turned out to be okay, you know?
Okay, but that was a positive one, you know?
Yeah.
You missed a real opportunity for Flame.
Yeah, backhanded compliment. Don't worry. If we get really in the trenches, I'll start throwing you under the bus later on.
Well, we got a show match later on, so we can have some fun with that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, serious match first, as Anyone's Legends versus OMG to decide the group will be rather exciting coming up soon.
All right. Demacia Cup, show me what we all want to see. Who gets the pog for this game? Is it Tarzan? Is it Shanks or Flandre? Is it anyone else? You know, I mean, like, I don't
Shanks
think
is carry bias, man. I know you're the jungler. I'm with you here on this one. It should go to Tarzan. Like, that entire highlight reel was him just using Lilia passive to sidestep everything. They're flashing out of everything, or Lilia Wing out of everything. It was disgusting. He needs to win this. That
is the Lilia I aspire to be like when we're playing our flex.
That was clean, man. That was clean.
Super clean. Oh, moment of truth.
Yes.
Tarzan!
Justice. Absolutely. All right. If it would have went to Shanks, I would have been kind of bummed. I'll be honest. Tarzan was way too good.
I would have been able to see it. Like, you know, I think the only one I would have been throwing my mouse at the screen would have been Kyle, because it's like, hey guys, you know what? We need to give love to supports every now and then, but we shouldn't take away credit from the people that actually deserve it, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, we definitely deserved here.
We're not giving out participation trophies for, you know, walking in and pulling off an engage when it looked like everything was about to go wrong.
To be fair, two of the old man teams are in this tournament, and they definitely are going to walk away with participation trophies. So maybe we give out just a few, you know?
Yeah, maybe you should play on that team, Matt.
Yeah, well, you know, Cacau's my age, but I was never actually good at the game in the first place. So we're gonna.
Yeah, but Cacao. You know, what is your age actually, Matt?
I'm 28, and Cacau's 28, and he's
so you're actually 56. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
The way you act, we just double the age. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway,
I've missed this. I've missed this a lot. It's such a good time to be casting with you again. We will be jumping into a break. I don't know when. I imagine sometime. No. Oh, now. All right. Well,
right now.
right now. Okay. The producer in my ear is like, go to break right now. Okay. Well, this is my very awkwardly transition. We'll be going to break, and when we come back, it is Game 5 of Day 4 of the Demacia Cup. Stay tuned.